Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are gonna go through the updates on Quinton Simon's disappearance, I guess, missing baby boy in Savannah, Georgia. Although there's very little updates. We'll just go through what we have, and I got some videos to show you. We are looking at almost 60 hours of him being gone, and it doesn't seem like there could possibly be a good outcome at this point. So it's, for me, I guess I'm just praying that obviously, miracles do happen. They can happen. And, it's in God's hands. That's the way I feel. And, he can perform miracles. But at this point, it's very unlikely that he's out there okay somewhere. It just doesn't seem like that could be the case. It really can't be. And I think mostly right now I'm just praying that he didn't go through very much. I don't know. I'm just sick about the whole thing. And it really hurts my heart that this kind of stuff happens way too often. So I will say I did listen to a little bit today of a channel that had a friend of Leilani's on there. And he said that he used to watch her older son, and that she would give him NyQuil and different things to try to make him go to sleep and things like that. I don't know any of this. This is just what I heard today. I wasn't even paying a whole lot of attention until I heard that part. Or, I heard that she was speaking to a friend of Leilani's. And I guess that shouldn't be all that surprising at this point. And he seemed to feel that there would be something more to do with the boyfriend. But what he said was that she's actually pretty aggressive. She tends to be the aggressor in her relationships. Again, I don't know that. I don't know her one bit. But I do have, this was from, when did this come out? It says update 6 p.m. It has been nearly 60 hours since Quinton Simon went missing from his, Buckhalter home in Savannah. But there are a few updates to the ongoing investigation. Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley told County Commissioner Friday morning that police have exhausted the physical search, but they are still considering it a missing persons case. Court documents obtained by WJCL show that Billie Jo Howe, Quinton's grandmother, attempted to remove the child's mother, Leilani, and her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, from the home. Billie Jo, Leilani's mother, said in the document, "They have damaged my property, and at this point, no one is living in peace." She added that her daughter wasn't looking for work, and she wanted Leilani and Daniel out as soon as possible. Documents also show that Quinton's grandparents, Billie Jo and her husband, are the ones who have custody of Quinton and his 3-year-old brother. Chief Hadley says police will leave no stone unturned in the search. There's a very sequential process that takes place here, Hadley said Friday. It may be frustrating to the general public. It may be frustrating to you all that things aren't developing as quickly as you may like. But we have to make sure that we're doing the right thing, that we're being lawful, making sure we dot our I's and cross our T's, so that if we discover evidence, it can be admissible in court and we can use it in court if we have to. Police say a search has been conducted of the home, the backyard pool, and nearby ponds. That's my stomach hurt. Friday afternoon, in part, detectives are working 18 to 20-hour days, and some localized outdoor searches continue, including a search today of a pond. The specific location of the pond was not given. It has been searched by law enforcement utilizing waders and poles. Authorities say it has presented too many dangers to send in a dive team at this time. I don't know what that means, but I think we know that we're probably looking at a recovery at this point, not a rescue. I hope that's not true, but it just seemed very unlikely at this point. And I'm just sick about it. I don't really know what to say about it. What can you say? You just wish it wasn't the case. But I am going to share with you a video. This is a little alarming. This is a video of apparently maybe the mother and the grandmother arguing. I don't know. I'll let you decide what you think about it. Let me see.
Here today, more than 75 officers, including the FBI, joined the search near his home in West Chatham County. Our team has been at the home where he was last seen speaking with family members and neighbors. The family told us the boy's mother and her boyfriend were released after hours of questioning by police.
The Chatham County Police cannot comment on who may have been interviewed, but tell us they are still treating this as a missing child case, and instead of a broad search, are now focusing their efforts on targeted areas. WSAV's Brian Gallagher has been gathering details all evening and has an update on Quinton's mother and her boyfriend tonight. Brian?
Yeah, that's right, Ben. For all of yesterday and most of today, the whereabouts of Quinton's mother and her boyfriend have been in question. Well, tonight we're learning that the neighbors witnessed the mother and her boyfriend at their house all throughout the day. Now, neighbors claim that the two finished being interrogated by law enforcement very early this morning. And then later that morning, neighbors say grandparents came by. Now, with Quinton missing for nearly 48 hours, tensions were running high in the family. And that's when things started to get heated. Neighbors say they heard several arguments all throughout the day. I was on scene a little after 6 p.m. tonight, where I heard another scuffle break out from across the street. Chatham County Police is asking residents to turn on their Twitter notifications, which is where the latest updates are coming from. Neighbors and family members are hoping for answers as it's closing in on hour 48 of Quinton's disappearance. In Chatham County, Brian Gallagher, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Okay, that was kind of a strange thing to listen to. I couldn't really tell what was being said, but obviously there was arguing going on there. Well, we had somebody in and now they have dropped off. So I'm going to play the press conference that was today.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Chief Jeff Halley with the Chatham County Police Department, and we wanted to provide everyone with an update to the extent that we can on the missing Quinton Simon. We have yet to locate little Quinton. We continue to investigate this incident. We've got some assistance from the FBI. We got numerous interviews to conduct today, as well as downloading phones and things of that nature to try to bring this case to a conclusion. It still remains a missing child investigation at this point until we reach a different conclusion based on any evidence that we may find or any updates or developments that we may occur here today. Just to kind of recap what we have done, as you know, we had aviation out here yesterday all day or half of the day, providing air support. We had mounted patrol from Savannah Police Department, which we sincerely appreciate. We had SEMA and the volunteers doing a grid search, an area search, looking for little Quinton. And as of this morning, we still have yet to locate him. So a lot of work to do. Our investigators are working extremely hard. They were here till 2 o'clock in the morning this morning, and then came back in at 8 o'clock for a briefing, and are out here this morning continuing to investigate. So that is unfortunately all the update, substantive update that we have here this morning. I'd be happy to answer a few questions that you may have, and we'll go from there. So,
Chief, is foul play suspected at all in this disappearance?
As of this time, we have not had any evidence to lead us to believe foul play, but everything's on the table, honestly. So we're looking at this from many different angles. We're getting all the technology that we can, looking for cameras that were in the area, things of that nature. So, but as of this interview, we don't have anything of substance that would lead us to believe that. It's still a missing child investigation.
Do you know why it took 3 hours to report the child missing to police?
I don't know. It took 3 hours to report to the police. I haven't gotten into that level of detail when the mother noticed the child was missing. The only information that I have is that the boyfriend woke up, saw the child at 6 a.m. The mother woke up at some other time later and then reported the child missing at 9:39. I believe the call came into 911. So the time difference and whatnot, I'm not privy to that level of detail at this second.
From what I understand, much of the morning, specifically when it did start getting light out, police weren't out there. Only recently now police are. So why we, in those precious hours of daylight in the morning to have police out there?
Please restate your question. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I understood from a reporter on scene, one of our reporters, there was much of daylight time this morning where police weren't out there. Kind of took a little bit. Can you kind of explain?
This morning?
Yeah.
So, well, we had conducted our area grid search yesterday. So we didn't believe that we had exhausted that geographic area where we felt perhaps if he wandered away, that he would be in that area. So we wanted to regroup this morning. We were out till 2 o'clock in the morning. Now we're narrowing it down to other small geographic areas, seeing if that would yield, finding Quinton. So we just felt that we had exhausted all of our geographic coverage area with what we did yesterday with the aviation, with the mounted patrol, with our drone. And we didn't feel that that would yield anything to be back at that exact location this morning.
How are the parents doing at this point from your perspective?
Well, I haven't talked to them personally. Obviously, they have been working with our detectives. I can only assume that they're, at this point, they're victims. They are dealing with the loss of a child. They're worrying and wondering where he may be at. And so, as any of us, if we were in that position, I would be terrified. Having 6 children of my own, if one of my children were missing, I'd be a mess, quite frankly.
And then follow up to that, does Quinton have any siblings? Are there any other brothers or sisters?
I believe there is an older sibling, maybe a year older or so. I think it's a boy, but I'm not 100% sure.
Chief, so the FBI was there yesterday to help. Is that customary, or were there certain aspects of the case that they thought it was necessary for them to come in, and will they be continuing to help with the investigation?
They will continue to help with the investigation. In this type, because it's a missing child, but there's also a potential it could have been abducted. Obviously, that falls within their wheelhouse. They're a great organization to work with. They have an enormous amount of resources that necessarily local law enforcement doesn't have, and their willingness to step in, provide additional manpower, as well as the resources that they have, which it is welcomed beyond belief. So, but because it's a missing and could be an abducted child, that's where it falls within their wheelhouse.
Do you believe Quinton is still alive?
I hope he's still alive. We don't know. We don't have any information to believe he's not. But statistically, we know, how these cases may end up. So we're going to hold out hope that he's still alive, that we can find him and bring him home safe to his parents. But we'll continue to look at all angles and exhaust all investigative avenues.
What would be the indicators that would push it into an abduction? Like, what would be sort of the cases or the evidence you would need for it to go into an abduction type of investigation rather than simply necessary?
Well, if we received some tip from the community that was substantive, that we could verify, that would lead us to that conclusion. If there was any type of video evidence or cell phone evidence that would lead us to believe in that that it would be that. So that would is what that would be. And let me say, I'm sorry I didn't mention, if anyone has information on Quinton Simon's disappearance, they can get on Chatham County Police Department Crime Tips on our website and put that information in there. They can also call Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020 with any information that they may have.
Have y'all been getting any tips?
I'm not aware of any at this point.
It's my understanding that Quinton's father lives north of here and was not in town when this all started happening. Is he here now with the rest of the family?
I'm not sure if he is here now. It is my understanding that he did live north of here and he was not here during the time of his disappearance.
Do you all have a search warrant for the home that Quinton lived in?
We did obtain a search warrant for the home. We're also obtaining other search warrants as of today, and we'll continue to execute those once we're able to secure those.
Do you know where those other search warrants are?
I do not.
What's kind of the plan for today in terms of the investigation and what you're planning?
Well, what I want to do is let the investigators do their work today, obtain those search warrants, execute those in a timely manner. Probably reassess sometime later today and see where we may need to pivot this investigation. If anything, any information comes out today that yields a different result, leads us in a different direction. But we'll regroup later on today. I want to give my investigators space to go on and do their job. They don't need me in their face every 5 seconds asking them 100 questions. They're very capable, along with the FBI, and we're going to work diligently till we come to a conclusion.
Have you talked with the mother?
I have not, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, so to me, I actually had to really double check to make sure that that wasn't the same press conference that we heard yesterday and it wasn't. Um, but it was so much of the same. There's just really nothing new other than a lot more time has gone by, which is bad. It's not good. So we still don't know anything more. I know that, I read lots of stuff on the Facebook page about, all the hassling and things that go on over there and at that house. But again, we don't know anything. That doesn't mean that no, I certainly don't. There was somebody talking about they don't think that Leilani was there. Something about her being gone. I couldn't find anywhere that anybody knew that, or it does make you wonder when they at 5:30 knew that they weren't going to need a babysitter. And then the story is that the boyfriend saw Quinton in his playpen at 6, and then at some point she woke up and he wasn't there. I did read that it was trash day, and so there's some talk about maybe the reason they waited so long to call is because the trash got picked up. I know that they said FBI was going through the dumpsters, and then I read that the FBI was going through the dump where the trash had been taken. And you hope that that didn't happen. But again, just prayers, that's all we can do. Just pray that that poor baby didn't go through too much. And if there's any way possible for him to still be alive and well, then I really hope that's the case. So, but there's really nothing more to update us on. I'm going to continue to stay on top of it and see what happens. Every time I wake up in the middle of the night and look to see, I'm scared to death of what I'm going to find on this. But hopefully, some prayers can be answered here. Again, it's in God's hands. We got to let Him handle it now. But thank you so much for joining me for this. And, please leave a comment. Let me know if there's something you want me to do. I did look into some other things. I just don't know that it's necessarily anybody's business for me to talk about them. So I'll wait and see if that happens. Oh, hi, Court. You're very welcome. I wish there was more. It's been, from the get-go, it's been a very odd situation of there being very little out there. Obviously, more and more is coming out, but not a lot. But I will be back on in 35 minutes for the regular Friday night fun. So hopefully you guys can join us. It's a little somber to think about fun, but that is our routine here. That's what we do on this channel. So, right. You are, me too. You just, like I said, every time I look at my phone, I'm like, oh Lord, I'm nervous to find out what's happened. I almost don't want to know. But yet, if, he needs to be dignified. He needs to be handled with some kind of care at this point. So, okay, thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you back in about 30 minutes. Thanks a lot. Please like and share and subscribe. Okay, thanks. Good night.